In this video, I'm gonna give you everything you need to know about solar. We're gonna talk about solar lingo. Hey, welcome back to another video on the channel. My name is Ivan and I own a solar growth marketing agency. We specialize in solar growth and solar sales. So welcome if you're brand new. If you are a subscribed member, thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click the link below to subscribe. All right. Also, if you like the content of this video, don't just like it, share it in Facebook groups, share it with a friend, share it with, you don't have to share it on social media. Just if the conversation ever comes up and one of your solar buddies is asking where you're getting the goodies, where you're getting the information, point them to the channel. Send them just say, hey dude, you gotta check out this guy. Crazy a little bit, but trust me. So it will be much appreciated. Let's get right into it. I get a lot of you out there that are brand new though, that are switching industries, want to learn about solar. So this is everything that you need to know. It took me years to understand, okay? Now, seriously though, when I was starting in solar, like this stuff right here, like it was Chinese to me, okay? I mean, it was basically something I was like, no way I could ever understand this. Like it was crazy. It felt like, these people are like doctors and they were talking, when you get into a hospital or doctors, like if you ever heard them talk to each other and like their lingo, you're like, holy shit, like I don't get shit, And so it's the same thing. That's how it made me feel. But it goes even further than that. You want to be able to understand the lingo so you grasp the concept of what are you trying to achieve and how to get there faster. Okay, and so I believe understanding the industry is a crucial part of actually growing any business. Okay, and that's what I want to do with you in this video. So the things we're going to talk about are very, very simple. The first thing you need is you need a red line. If you're going to sell under someone, okay, and if you're an independent contractor, if you're a 1099, right? And you just want to do your own thing, you want to be a door knocker, you want to be whatever, right? You're gonna have to get a red line, which is, don't worry, it's not a crazy, like this is just a term in the solar industry that is basically what it means is, it means your cost for an install. And maybe, the cost of carrying out the install, which is people going out there to the customer's home to install the panels, and also the cost of the panels. Okay, that's your red line. Your red line is basically the cost, that you need to consider. That's your baseline, right? So if somebody tells you what my red line is $250, okay, right? Then you got to be selling above $250 in order to be profitable, right? And so number one is red line. Number two is what we call an adder, okay? An adder is basically, very simply put, that is the cost of service to do something, right? It might be to replace, the main panel, which is another thing we'll get to in a second. But it could be the cost of doing a ground mount, okay? If there's so there could be a situation, right, you might run into where the customer wants solar, but they don't want to install it on the roof, okay? And so, or their roof is simply not big enough to hold all the panels that are gonna have to go on there, okay? That's also a possibility. In that case, the panels need to go somewhere, and that's called a ground mount, okay? So, but that will cost an adder, right? Cost for racking, cost of install, like that's an adder, right? The cost of going out there to a specific area, that could also be an adder, like outside of the installer's, parameters of work, where they carry out work, okay? So that is an adder. An adder is anything that you have to pay outside of your red line, that goes on top of the red line, okay? So that is what we call an adder. Number three is an NPU. Okay? NPU, ladies and gentlemen, stands for main panel upgrade. Okay? So the main panel upgrade is something that is required in order to have solar. So without that, if the customer has an old main panel that needs to be replaced, a lot of the utilities would require it. I don't even think they can go backwards. Okay, there's some that are basically they were designed to just go forward, you know. And with solar, you have to make sure that the meter can actually go backwards, and that's how the customer gets credited for the credits they get, you know, during sunny days, and they use those credits during nighttime, during cloudy days, during rainy days, during winter, whatever, okay? Number 4, we got the M1 and M2. M1 and M2, okay? That stands for milestone 1 and milestone 2, okay? So what that simply means is there's two types of, so all the commissions, usually, not everyone's gonna do that, but most of the time, there's gonna be, your commission is gonna be paid out in 2 installments, all right? Anywhere between 20 to 30% or up to 50% at milestone 1, which is basically when the customer signs the contract, okay? You get paid a week or 2 after. That's called a milestone 1, M1, which is referred to. And then milestone 2 is where you get the rest of the commission, okay? That is after install. Again, about a week or 2 after install, the money gets released from the finance company to the install company, and then the install company pays it out to you, okay? That's M1 and M2. Next thing is clawback. So number 5 is a clawback. And clawback, very simply explained, is basically when somebody cancels, okay? So the customer has the time frame in which they can cancel is between upon signing the contract until they get panels installed on the roof. Technically, they can still cancel after the install, but it's a lot harder. So it's nearly impossible, okay? So technically, they have that period of time to ponder on whether they actually want solar, whatever, right? So they could have a buyer's remorse. They might, you know, come to the realization that it's not the best time right now to do solar, whatever, okay? A clawback is simply put the customer canceling the deal when you already have been paid on M1. So you already received the first, you know, installment of your commission, and a clawback is like, hey dude, you're just gonna have to pay us back. And so that clawback is usually taken away from your next deal, okay? That's a clawback. Next thing is PPW, right? PPW. Or in other words, price per watt. That stands for what price you sell it per watt. So let's say the system size of a customer that you will build out will be 9.5 kilowatt, okay? Based on their usage, obviously. You would use a design tool that will basically take into consideration the amount of sun hours that they get, you know, in that area, in that state, you know, whether they have a east or a west or south facing roof, and all these things that are combined. And so that would come up with basically, you know, exactly the level of offset that you want to do, how many panels, stuff like that. So the price per watt is basically, let's say it's 9.5 kW system, that's 9,500 watts, okay? And so red line and everything else is usually calculated with that. So if somebody tells you my red line is 250 in California or whatever state, that means that their cost of install, their baseline will have to be 9.5. Okay, let's do 10 actually, because I don't want to do math. So let's do 10 kW. That's simply put 10,000 watts, okay? 10,000 watts times by, let's say $2.50, that is $25,000, okay? So 25 grand, that's the cost of install without adders. That's what it will cost you to install the panels on the customer's roof. Again, that is the work and the profit and everything else that goes into, you know, carrying out a deal like that. And then last but not least, dealer fees. A lot of people are like, what are dealer fees, man? I don't understand that lingo. So dealer fees is basically, very simply put, in order to sell solar, unless you sell a cash deal, the money's gonna have to, you know, come from somewhere. And a lot of, you know, the concept of solar is very simple. You know, nowadays it's being advertised as $0 out of pocket. And that's the main thing that draws people in, okay? Which means they don't have to pay anything. There's no down payment on the system, you know, and they could still go solar and save money literally from month one, okay? So if you're in solar, you obviously know that. But if you're brand new, dealer fees are basically the fees in which you have to pay, okay? Technically not you, but you would have to consider that when you're pricing the system. You know, dealer fees are basically the fees in which you pay to the finance company to be able to release the funds for the cost of install and for your profit. So basically, the cost of the finance company releasing the funds so that the customer can go solar without paying a dime out of pocket, okay? That's what a dealer fee is, okay? Now, I don't want to get into like the nitty gritty stuff, but you know, the higher obviously the interest rate, the lower the dealer fee percentage is going to be, the lower the percentage rate, the interest rate, the higher the dealer fees are going to be. So in one way, you're paying more, so it gets taken out of your commission. In another way, the customer obviously saves money because of it. So, but again, I don't want to get into too much of it. So that should be, you know, that should get you to a pretty good standard of understanding the lingo of solar. I hope this video was of value to you. If it was, please give it a like and a thumbs up, okay? So we get boosted in the algorithm. And if the conversation ever comes up, please refer us to a friend, okay? Tell us where you're getting the goodies, right? And if you're thinking about growing within solar, if you want to be closing a lot of deals every single month like clockwork, then make sure you schedule a call down below, be able to talk to myself or somebody on the team, and we'll tell you exactly how we're going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you again on the next one. Take care.